What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Jesus Coin. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Let's get into it. There's some exciting things that I want to talk about that do suggest that we have a greater than 150% move coming, if not more or something around there, right? But I would think something larger than 150% is coming our way. Potentially, I would think within the next 2 weeks, but once it happens, it'll happen in a very short amount of time. Like if we started breaking out today, this move would happen before the week is over, right? We would see a greater than 150% move from the low. If it started today, we would see it happen before the week is over, right? It wouldn't take long. It'd take like 3 days, maybe a week at the most, something like that is what I would think. Jesus Coin, when it does decide to move, it moves very, very fast, okay? If this is your first time hearing of Jesus Coin, if you've never bought Jesus Coin before, but you want to buy Jesus Coin and you want to know where to buy it because it's a DEX coin, it's not on any centralized exchanges. It's on Poloniex, actually, but you might have a hell of a time getting in and getting out on Poloniex. There's very low liquidity there. I use Coinbase Wallet, right? That's their DEX. You can use, I've heard some people use CalSwap. You could use Uniswap, obviously, Phantom, anything that has access to the Ethereum blockchain. If you want to use Solana, we even have a Solana bridge, right? Jesus on Sol. It's very important that whenever you look at it, though, it's this Jesus, right? J-E-S-U-S, Jesus. Because there's so many Jesus. It's not Jesus. Jesus on Sol is a different Jesus coin, right? We do have Jesus on Sol. This is Jesus on Sol, and this is the same Jesus that I'm talking about here, right? The liquidity you can see is a lot lower than the liquidity that we have up here, right? But still, it's decent liquidity if you want to get in and get out. But you can buy it on the Solana blockchain. You can buy it on the Ethereum blockchain. So any DEX that has Ethereum or Solana blockchains, that would be it, right? Token right here. Yeah, that's the last four if you're looking for the contract there. CE70, that's it, right? And then on Solana it is 11KC, okay? So that's your token contract or your address or whatever it is. So now that I've gotten the intro out of the way, the painful long intro, let's talk about the exciting stuff. So I was on x.com. And shout out to the Jesus peeps. Shout out to Pajamas. That was not an intentional shill at another meme coin, y'all. But I do like Pajamas. There's no secret there. Shout out to the Jesus peeps for showing some love on this most recent one. I think that was the most likes and retweets that I've ever had on a post that I've ever done before, or reposts. They're reposts now, right? Sorry, oops, just moved the camera there. What I was saying is that Jesus is showing a very similar phase of consolidation in its daily RSI to what we had earlier this year. Last time when the RSI price broke out, compared to like the same pattern that we have now, we saw 156% move in the course of 3 days. What are we going to do this time around? And I'll just show you what I'm saying in that X post, right? Let's just see. So we look at the RSI, and to me, it seems pretty obvious. There's actually maybe 3 phases where Jesus Coin's done this before, and I only looked at the last phase. But if you look here at this kind of consolidation, this seems very similar to this, right? It's the same shape, and they're obviously a little bit different in overall size. Okay, they're obviously a little bit different, but same shape. And then even here too, even there too, right? And once you broke out of it, I wonder what happened whenever you broke out of this one. It doesn't look like you saw that big of a move up. You broke out of this one about here. Oh, you did see a little move, didn't you? What did you see? That's a 2-day time frame too. From a low to a high. You moved up here 60%, but you kept going lower. Where here, whenever you broke out, you went up 156%. And you kept climbing higher afterwards, inevitably going lower, but you kept climbing higher. I think this time, because you have gone so low already, and you've got bullish divergence on your 4-hour time frame, with these higher lows here and the lower lows in the price and the decreasing volume, I think you found your low. I think you are moving up. I mean, obviously we're up 4.5% right now today, but I think that this could be the beginning of something that's a lot larger. I do suspect, like last time, not like this time, not like this time here, right? Like last time, because let's see, right? Like this time here, man, I mean, that was early days. You had a hell of a pullback. You were, to be fair, you were at probable areas to find support, but you kept going down nonetheless. I don't think that's going to happen, but let's keep this in our back pockets. Even though I don't suspect this will happen, let's remember this, okay, and then consider what the RSI did. If we are held down by the 50, if we can't get above the 50, maybe this move up won't be as miraculous as we're hoping on it to be, okay? And maybe then that would imply that we have more bleeding out to go. Where here we got above the 50, we didn't really bleed out. Afterwards we did, after some like time, like a month afterwards, then we started to bleed out, but we did actually kind of maintain higher highs for a little while there as well. And we got above the 50. Okay, so let's look for that. Let's look for a move in the RSI that takes us above the 50. Overall, just we're looking for a breakout move. Even at its worst case scenario, right, just like this time here, we still saw a 60% pump. But this is kind of more what I'm expecting would happen. I think that we are overall, we've got higher lows overall. Our 123 moving average is still sloped upwards, looking like it wants to roll over, but it is still sloped upwards. I think we've pulled back enough. If we look at the overall low to the overall high, we've hit the 786 perfectly, and generally throughout the whole, like basically since August, maybe like September of this year, we've been seeing a lot of cryptos just go right to their 786 and have aggressive pumps or rejections off of their 786 areas. So I would expect we're at 7079 without any of the analysis I've given so far, without this idea of breaking the daily downtrend. I would suspect that we do see a rather rapid move at least to the 0.5, if not all the way up to the 382 or the 236, because that's what these 786s, they tend to bounce, and generally they do go to new highs, or if it was a rejection, they would go to new lows too. That's generally the case. Not always, but generally the case. But these would be the primary targets: 6012, 6014, 60186. Okay. Looking at the low to that first target, that's about a 60% move. Well, that's on par with what we saw the very first time that we broke out of a consolidation range like this, right? And we didn't get an expansion. We kind of continued to bleed. So, hey, first target makes sense. The next target is at about 100%. It's a little bit lower than what we saw last time, but hey, still that's previous areas of resistance, previous areas of support, and it's the 382. Pretty common area. You could go there. And then here, up here, that's about 157%. That is basically exactly on par with what we've seen for Jesus Coin on this last move here. So that's something to be considered. Or could we also see something that's greater than that? Could we move up higher? Anything and everything is possible. But to me, what seems the most likely would be anything between about 100% growth from the low, not from the current price, but from the low, to 157% or more. I personally don't think that we stop at 69%. And if we do, you guys, if we stop at about 6012 or anywhere around that vicinity, and then we turn back around and we go below the 618 again, we go back into the land of the 70s, I would be scared. I would not, if we rejected here and then got back below here, I would be scared that we could be going below even these lows, right? Or at least back to them. So that would not be encouraging, right? Maybe encouraging for a later date, but it wouldn't be encouraging for the coming weeks or months. So what we want to see definitely is a move at least to about 60146, ideally to 6015 or higher. And then anything above this 236 is of course welcome as well. But I think I've made my point. I think I've said everything that I need to say, right? We're just looking for this very exciting kind of breakout of this downtrend. It's always exciting to break out of a downtrend, but whenever you have the direct comparison that we have from last time, seeing a 156% move in 3 days, that's kind of exciting as well. To assume that we could be up a whole nother 2 to 3x between now and the end of this week, if we're starting here, which we don't have the breakout yet, right? It hasn't broken out yet, but just the assumption that we're at the forefront of that, it's kind of exciting, right? And it's definitely exciting whenever you consider that Jesus Coin has been not exciting since the last like 2 months now. So hopefully we get a little bit of life in this coin. We start moving up here pretty soon. I think that'll attract new investors, old investors, and just give us a little pep in our step going forward here, right? I definitely do expect that Jesus Coin will exceed prices higher than what we've given. I think that it will see targets that are above these highs, and if we are to move up in the fashion that I think we're going to move up, I would suspect that over time, by the end of January, we really could be at targets that are anything from about a 5x to an 8x higher than what the current price is, right? If this all happens, over the next week, if we move up to the areas that I'm talking about, it happens over the next week or two, I suspect by the end of January, we really could be a whole 8x to 5x higher than we are right now. So if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Again, these 786 bounces, you guys, they have been very aggressive throughout the past like 4 months now. So I'm expecting an aggressive move up here, and then you tie that in with the daily breaking out of this trend. It just, last time it was pretty aggressive too. We'll see how it goes. We're hoping for some aggressive behavior to the upside. Ascension is on its way. Blah 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 blah. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Take care.